everybody, welcome back. My name is Cassie. I'm the Evil Secret Ninja and I talk about books and I review books on my channel. And today I'm doing my weekly reading update. So these are all the books that I finished last week, wrapping up November, everything that I'm currently reading and what I'm hoping to pick up next. So last week, I say I finished 10, but did I really? Some of them were really short. There were a couple of just little short stories, so I don't know that I would count them as a whole book. So I actually finished 8, and then I had 2 short stories that I put in there. These are the ones that I finished last week. So I was finishing up, obviously, my reading in November. First one that I finished was Cursor's Fury by Jim Butcher, and this is the 3rd book in the Codex Alera series. And I didn't enjoy this one as much as I have the other 2. It definitely had kind of that middle book. What's going on? Where is this going? Where's this series going to wrap up? But this one had some good political intrigue. It had some learning about Tavi and what he's about and what he's figuring out about himself. There's some of the nobility are, I guess, starting an internal revolt and wanting to take over. We also have some invaders, and Tavi at this point is leading a legion, and he's trying to get rid of the invaders that have come into their land. So far I'm enjoying this series pretty good, and so now I'm like halfway through it. So we'll see where it goes from here. The next 2 books, this was an audiobook that was in the Audible Plus catalog, and they were a collection, so it was like 2 books in one, and I just listened to the whole audiobook. And these were the first 2 books in the Exiled Fleet by Richard Fox. And it was Albion Lost and The Long March. And this was a science fiction military fantasy about a space battle. There was a royal family and everyone was wiped out except the youngest child, who's 3. Our main characters are trying to save him so that he does not get killed by these invaders who have come to... Can't say I'm really sure what their overall motives are yet. They came and they attacked kind of out of nowhere, having certain augmentations that were illegal. There was some question whether or not they were human or not, because no one had ever seen people with these augmentations before. So I've been trying to read more science fiction, and these were actually kind of fun to read. The next 3 books, I finished the Silent Voice series. I read books 5, 6, and 7 of A Silent Voice by Yoshitoki Ioma. I absolutely loved it. I thought the series was really great, and I love the themes and everything in there. This is not just kind of a bully redemption arc. This is really about like the consequences of people's actions and how those consequences have like long-term effects, and can you ever really make up for the horrible things that you do, and what does it take to become a different person than what you were. So I enjoyed the wrap-up of that series. The next book that I finished was The Secret Next Door by Rebecca Taylor. And this is... I guess it's more of like a family drama that has a mystery, a little bit of a mystery thriller feel to it. So this woman... Alright, so she sees this house, she looks at the neighborhood, decides it's perfect because there's a certain type of person that lives in this neighborhood that are rich, and they seem to have everything that they want and they need, and she moves into this neighborhood. She discovers that things are not quite what they seem, and people are not who they seem to be, and maybe this perfect ideal that she has is not based in reality. It's just like a fantasy of what she thinks life should be like living in this neighborhood. And then the last one that I finished was Bunny by Mona Awad. And that was the last one that I finished in November. I still don't know how I feel about this book. So this was a dark academia, and it starts pretty normally. We have a girl who feels like she's kind of an outcast, and she's on the outside of whatever's going on in the school. And there's these 3 girls that she doesn't like. They call each other Bunny, and they're like the elite of the elite, and they decide to kind of befriend her and bring them into their little group, and they're really strange. They have some strange rituals. It just kind of felt like you were reading someone's drug-induced fever dream or something like that. It was just really weird. That was the weirdest thing that I've read in probably a long time. So the next two were just kind of short stories. These are the Amazon original stories. If you have Amazon Prime, they have these Amazon original stories, and they're usually like 20 to 30 pages. I read a whole lot of them last year. This year I haven't read so many of them. But this one, I just kind of caught my interest. This was the Black Star story, and I read like the first and the second one of that series, and they were both about 20 to 30 pages. The first one was The Visit, and it is by Chimamanda Ngozi Adiche. Oh, and this one was like a lot of fun to read. This was a feminist take on things, like what if the world were run by women? And so it was kind of an alternate world, and that where men were seen as kind of the second-class citizens that women were. I found it quite interesting, and I found it rather bold and everything, and I actually I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I can definitely see a lot of the points that were made in it. And I think I might try to look up some more stuff by the author, because I did like her writing style. The second one in that series was The Black Pages by Nnedi Okorafor, and this was kind of a science fiction-y thing where there's there's these books that this family is trying to protect from Al-Qaeda, who has come into their town and is burning the library and the mosque and everything because it's supposed to have these ancient books in it, and they're trying to protect the books and the secrets that they have. And I like this one as well. I just the ending was so cliffhangery. I think that book could have done with maybe 50 more pages at least, so that we could have more of a conclusion. So those are all the books and short stories that I finished last week. And here's the ones that I'm currently reading. Currently, I'm making my way through Jade, Fire, Gold by June C.L. Tan. And this is, I don't think this is a series. If it is, it's like the first one. And I'm almost finished with it. I should finish it today. It seems like there's a lot that needs to happen before it can come to a conclusion, so I'm presuming there might be a second book. This is a young adult fantasy, and it certainly does have like the kind of the basic trope where you're following the girl and the guy, and you know that romance is coming between them. Like, yes, they like each other. The boy he's supposed to be dead. Everyone thinks he's dead, except for a few people, and he has a big secret. And the girl has a magic that people have been hunting for a very long time, so everyone is trying to hunt her and use her for their own means, and so she has to accept her own destiny. So that one's pretty good. I'm enjoying that so far. The next book that I'm reading is The Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams, and this is the first book in the Last King of Ostenard. And so this is the stuff that happens after Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, and it's many years later. Simon and Miramel are trying to raise their grandson after the death of their son, and their grandson is already a young adult, so I guess it has to take place quite a few years later after the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn wrapped up. We have some of our favorite characters from there that we're kind of being introduced to, and we're learning that the Fae that they had fought off and beat, they have found something new that is going to help them take over and come back and take their lands back. The next one that I'm reading is Red Country by Joe Abercrombie, and this is the third standalone in the First Law world. And this is about these bandits come and steal all the children from the city, and the people are more like from this like little farming village, and the people from the village are coming after to save their children. And we have some characters that are resurfacing from some other First Law books, and so far it's going pretty good. There's some points where it drags a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm enjoying it. And the last one that I'm listening to, this is the one I'm listening to with my kids, and that was The Crimson Alliance. This is the second book in the Viridian Gate Online by James Hunter. It's definitely not my favorite. The lit RPG books are not ones that I'm really wild about, with the exception of Wandering In. That's the only one that that I actually enjoy enough to keep listening to. But my kids are really liking them, so it's something we do together as a family. So the end of the world has come. Meteor that has hit the world and killed everyone, and so to save themselves, they have downloaded their consciousness into a video game. So those are the books that I'm currently reading. And here's the books that I plan to pick up next. So next I'm going to read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And this is the first book in the Skyward series, and this is about a girl who, I guess her father was discharged from the military because I guess he failed them or he betrayed them, and she's trying to build up her name and prove that she's not a traitor as well. So I'll get into that. Then I'll also pick up the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book in the Broken Earth series, and I really don't know anything about it, but I have the whole series and I thought I'd get started on it. So I'm excited to see what that's about. And then the third one, the next one that I'll pick up, hopefully after Viridian Gate Online, when I get my Audible credit, we'll get the Wandering In, Book 3, Part 2. And it is the Winter Solstice. And Wandering In is also a lit RPG, but it kind of makes, in some ways it makes fun of it. Like, they do level up, but it's at least kind of funny. And thankfully it's not like the main part of the story. It's more like reading a D&D campaign. But again, it's one that my kids really like, and so it's the one that we listen together. And I'm sure that one will take me through the end of the year and into next year to finish, because they are really long. And it is about people from our world who are transported to this magical realm where there's a level system and different things, and it's kind of like like I said, it's like a D&D campaign where you have adventurers, and you have it's called the Wandering Inn because Erin Solstice runs the Wandering Inn, and she is an innkeeper, and she's a lot of fun. And then our other character is Ryoka Griffin, and she is a barefoot runner. If you want to read the Wandering Inn, though, it is online, so you can read the whole thing for free. The Witchwood Crown, the Tad Williams book, is really long, so I doubt that I'll finish that. That's the audiobook I'm listening to right now, but it's really, really long. So, alright, so those are all the books that I finished last week, what I'm currently reading, and what I plan to pick up next. I guess I have one last update to say. This is more like a life update. In my field, like, I'm a mental health therapist, and right now there's a lot of need for mental health therapists. So I am going to start picking up some clients on the side. I'm going to continue working at my job, but I'm looking for opportunities to have some clients on the side. So I'm going to be doing that. So I might not have as many books that I'm reading every week and every month because I'll be doing therapy, which is something I love to do. So there might be some changes in the amount of books that I read, but I think not reading 30 books a month is probably okay. So, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Alright, bye!